Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing, everyone? Hope everyone's well. Welcome back to another episode on the finished article, All Things Sky Blues. Yes, I'm your host, Shaz, here with another episode. And without further ado, let me bring my co-host on, Mr. Richard home. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks, mate.
Good stuff, mate. So, guys, today what we're going to be doing is covering the review of Burnley versus Coventry, which myself and Rich and another mate, Dave Edgar, attended with us over the weekend. We're going to cover the game, the thoughts on that, the performance, the lack of subs. And for anyone that's tuning in, as always, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment on the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. And give us your thoughts on what you thought of the game and what you think Mark Roberts is going to do for the second half of the season. We'll talk about, obviously, we'll talk about Doug King coming in and the impact he's going to have, whether we're going to see any major signings. But you know what? Let's get into it. So, where do we start, Rich? Game against Burnley. Obviously, for those that don't know, it was a narrow 1-0 loss. I'm still trying to figure out how we didn't win that or we didn't come away with 3 points because I thought we were the better side. Clearly, we left our shooting boots at home. But let's get Rich's thoughts and we'll take it from there.
Yeah. Well, I'm feeling a little bit more upbeat than I was when we did the podcast last week after the Wrexham game because the performance, I thought first half City were excellent. Kelsey Palmer played well. The new lad Norton Cuffy looks decent. Sheaf played well. And first half, I'd probably say we were the better side. Certainly went toe to toe with them. This is a team that are top of the table, pretty certain to get promotion this season. We've got ourselves to blame for not putting our chances away, but I think what ultimately cost us was they had a subs bench, they had players to bring on, we didn't.
So let's take it back to the first half. So obviously, it was a half of quite a few chances for Coventry. So Palmer had a couple of chances. Allen had a few. I think he scuffed a few. Gyökeres had that.
Gyökeres early in the second half. That was
apologies. Yeah, right. Yeah. Gyökeres early in the first half, second half. Sorry. But I mean, what was your general take on how we lined up, like the formation, the side that we put out?
Well, I was happy with how we lined up. The issue was, as I say, because for most of the game we were just as good as them. We were toe to toe, just as good, if not better. Mm-hmm. But obviously they had that bit of quality to punish us, and they had the players to bring on off the bench while we were tiring. Whereas I think Leon Kelly was our most experienced substitute. After that, it was Jack Burrows of outfield players with 2 goalkeepers on the bench as well. So we just didn't have the options on there.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think for me, the lineup was quite attacking. We had Gyökeres, you had Palmer, you obviously had Hamer in midfield, you had Allen. Obviously, we went back to our now first choice keeper, Wilson.
What I've got to say is a quick mention about Kelsey Palmer. What a signing he's been.
He's not a bad player. I think Bristol
better every game.
I think from what I heard about Bristol City fans, what they said about him, I think it's a bit harsh because he's been good. I think, you know what, because he's not played a consistent run of games, obviously he's not going to be 100% match fit. But I mean, I thought he was really good. He had made some attacking drives. I think he was unlucky not to score. I mean, I think the Burnley defender made a last ditch tackle. Otherwise, it could have been a goal for Palmer as well. And I, as I said to the guys on WhatsApp, I don't think we're a bad side. I think just unfortunately we're not clinical enough. Now we could put that down to the fact that Gyökeres didn't score or Palmer didn't score, but I think there's more to it. I think we're just missing that one vital jigsaw. I mean, I don't know how long Gordon's out for, but we could do with him back in the side, I think.
Could be a while. We need to sign somebody ultimately.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I know we've got the 2 fullbacks on loan, but yeah, we could do. We need another striker. We've sent Waghorn away on loan. I just don't know who's out there really, but
So Wagon's gone on loan. Kane went to, I think, Charlton. I know he's not a striker. Tavares is out for the season after
And
getting
Robbins didn't mess about after the cup game. We knew he weren't happy with some of the performances, and straight away, Wagon's gone out on loan. Kane's been sent out on loan. So it's good to know he's not messed about, but we need some people bringing in the other way.
I've heard rumors, and I think I've shared it in the group, and I know what your opinion is that, but apparently there's a rumor that Patterson is on the verge of signing. I know we don't believe anything until it's official, but what are your thoughts on that?
Well, to be fair, that rumour's been doing the rounds for about 10 years.
Yes. So
same with the one about us getting Collins in for year.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Patterson is a Coventry-born lad that has played for everyone except for Coventry.
Always scores against us as well.
Always scores against us, which is annoying.
I mean, he's not in the best of form at the moment, but he'd be an improvement on what we've got. And he's definitely... Thing is, it's not even just about improving what we've got. It's about getting that extra bit of depth. So even if we're getting as good as what we've got.
Absolutely. I mean, if we go back to the game on Saturday, what do you think the team could have done differently? I know we played our best 11, but is there anything we could have done differently? I mean, their goal, I think, was as a result of this distraction that happened just before it.
There was a foul on the keeper just before, wasn't there? And then
their defender kind of ran into the keeper. I think fouled him or tackled him or whatever it was.
City defence was so focused on that, protecting our keeper, that
I watched the goal back again, and for me, it was just a momentary lapse of concentration, which Robin said. I mean, we should be talking about 1 point earn or even 3 points if we were clinical. Instead, we're talking about a defeat, which I think shows the mentality Robbins has got. He's essentially saying, look, guys, I'm trying to push this team up to bigger and better things. But essentially, I can only do this if the team do their job. And for the most part, they did, barring the end product finishing.
Well, credit to Burnley. Once they did take the lead, they saw the game out comfortably, which showed why they're top of the table.
Yeah, but I mean, I think in 2 games I've seen Burnley, they haven't done anything to say to me that we can't match. I mean, if I'm being honest, I know we covered this on the previous podcast last week, but I can't see us getting relegated just because of how good Robbins has got us playing. Yes, we might struggle for promotion or playoffs, but whilst the gap is still narrow, I think we should still aim to see as high as Mark Kinzet said last week. Any improvement on last season would be great. Now I'm going to bring up a comment. We've got some comments, so I appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in. So a comment from Darren. We need a goal scoring midfielder, and I think that's what me and Richard.
Patterson could be that man, because I think I read somewhere throughout his career he averages either a goal or assist every other game, which isn't prolific as such, but it's a lot better than what we've got.
I mean, Darren, me and Rich were just talking about that. I mean, who would we bring in? So you just mentioned goal scoring midfielders. Have you got any names in mind, or we'll appreciate it putting you on?
I think Patterson would. I think Jamie Patterson would contribute and would be an improvement in that area.
Absolutely.
How much of an improvement, I don't know, but
is there a case for getting another striker? Because obviously, if Godden's out, Tavares is out. I don't think that Robbins trusts Walker that much. So essentially, if Gyökeres, God forbid, he gets injured, we're screwed.
He scored almost half our goals. He's about the right striker, though.
So another comment from Darren. Patterson's not coming. He's not even on our radar, according to Andy Turner. Okay, interesting. So
see, I was actually starting to believe it. I was actually starting to believe the rumor because of it, but it just goes to show.
Yeah, you should never
listen to the rumor until it's on the City website.
You should never believe Twitter rumors, even though
you never know. We might get a striker in on loan from a Premiership club, a youngster who we've not heard of. Could turn out to be decent.
No, that's true. I think the thing that concerns me is the fact that we've let a couple of players go without bringing them in. Now, maybe Robbins knows something that we don't. But ideally, you don't want to be left in a position whereby you're short-handed, considering that we've still got to play. Was it 20 games or something?
20 games, and
yeah.
probably how many points are we on? 36.
We're
Probably
currently on 35. We're on 35 points. But what's the target? The guarantee safety is probably the first.
Well, they say 51, so we're talking another 6. Well, yeah, another 5 wins to get to 50 points.
Yes.
So
okay, that's fair enough. I mean, looking forward. Obviously, we've got Norwich on Saturday, which is on Sky Sports. It's a lunchtime kickoff. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Taking my daughter up. She's yet to see. I've took her to 2 games and she's seen 2 defeats. So hopefully that run ends on Saturday. Although, like I say, the games aren't getting any easier. There's Norwich are up there just outside the playoffs. I thought they'd be doing better than they are, to be honest.
Yeah, well, there's been quite a few surprises actually. I mean, Blackburn for some reason have lost 13 games, but are still in the position that they are. So
they've not had a single draw. Blackburn haven't.
Okay, that would.
I think there's only 2 teams in the league that have lost more than them. But
okay, fair enough.
That's it. They either win or they draw, and they just win a couple more. Sorry, they either win or they lose, and they just happen to win a couple more than they lose. But
that's an interesting point. I mean, for me, I think if we play like we did against Burnley, against Norwich, I think we'll be good. But we just got to be a bit more clinical in front of goal. And I think from what I've seen, obviously the first game I've seen away this season, I don't think we're in a bad position going forward for the rest of the season. I would like us to see us strengthen. I mean, any more away days planned for yourself, Rich?
I've not got a ticket for West Brom. I think I'm going to Blackpool.
Okay, you're going to Blackpool. Nice.
Yeah. To be honest, I've been to all the Championship grounds, and I tend to just like to tick off. I can't make away games that often. I just tend to tick off ones I've not been to. But obviously, I've been Blackpool before, but it's a weekend away. So
if anyone does fancy Preston away, Blackburn away, I will be doing that, considering it's in the local vicinity.
That's up north.
Yes, exactly. So we'll definitely look. Unfortunately, I think Blackpool is the day I land back from holiday, so might not. But we've got a comment for Darren here again. We're after Colby Bishop from Portsmouth. Bid with players have been offered. Would Rich have Dele Alli? He's coming back to Everton. Robinson players around.
Dele Alli,
interesting one. Dele Alli.
I know he's not done anything the last couple of years, but of course I'd have Dele Alli. At one point, I thought he was the best thing in football.
You know what? Dele Alli
in the Championship.
Dele Alli first season at Spurs was on fire. I don't know what happened after that, but it seemed to have all gone downhill since then. And it's a shame because he's a really good player. But I don't know what, for one reason or the other, it hasn't worked out.
It hasn't worked out for him, but a player of that caliber in the Championship.
Actually, you know what? Since we're on the topic of AllThingsSkyBlue,
it won't happen.
Let's talk about how rubbish Burnley's home support was. I have never seen a worse home support ever. I felt like I've seen more atmosphere at the CBS than I had at Turf Moor, mate. They only piped up just after they scored. Otherwise, we look like the home team there.
Yeah, they were quiet. It's often the way, though. Teams that are doing well get used to winning sometimes, and the fans can be a bit quieter.
Yeah, or maybe it's just.
And also, you don't always notice the noise from the home fans if the away fans are.
Well, I think it's the other way at the CBS, right? Because the home fans are so loud you can barely even hear the away fans, or even notice. I've
got to be honest. CBS block 16. I think about block 14 to about block 17, maybe block 18.
Yeah,
noisy. You get past block 18 and it's quiet. It's like I'll sit block 16, fantastic atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
But the further along you go, it is a lot quieter.
No, that's right. I mean, Rich, on the topic of Saturday's home game, where are you going to be sitting? Are you going to be sitting where the season tickets are, or are you going to move?
No, because I'm taking my daughter. I can't really take her up block 16. So
okay, yeah.
Take her up the other end. Obviously, we're going to family zone. before the game. It's very, very good for kids. Like,
very nice.
You've got colourings, things to do. Meet Sky Blue Sam.
Sky Blue Sam. Absolutely. Have you got her a full kit yet, or is she just?
No, I haven't. I'm going to.
Oh, Rich, you got to get on that. I'm surprised you didn't have one when she was born. Fair enough. Well, guys, as always, like I said, thank you very much for tuning in. As always, me and Rich are covering the show right now. So if you're watching, please leave your comments on what you thought the Burnley game went, or do share the stream with anyone that you think may be interested. We're a forum for everything from all things Sky Blue. So yeah. Anyway, going back to you, Rich. The lack of subs on Saturday, I know you've talked about it, and the lack of a bench because we only had Kelly and Moore. But do you reckon he couldn't have tried any of the youngsters? I mean, it couldn't have got any.
Well, I was expecting your next question to be, does Danny Cashman get on the bench after scoring for the under-21s yesterday?
Oh, well, you beat me to it, but let's get
he's not the answer, but if we're going to, I'd rather have him on the bench than have two goalkeepers.
That's okay, yeah. So, Cashman, where was he on loan? Was he at Rochdale?
Yeah, I think he did. I don't think he had a great loan spell there either. He's not set the world alight, but
okay.
Like you say, I'd rather have him on the bench than two.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, and I probably know the answer to this already, but would you play Cashman on Saturday?
No.
Okay. Okay, that's fair enough. I thought I might get
the standard of under-21. You see, under-21 teams. I know we haven't, but under-21 teams tend to lose to non-league teams in the Birmingham Senior Cup. So it's it's just a total different level of football. So as happy as I am that Danny Cashman got on the score sheet yesterday, it by no means means that he's up for first team.
No, valid point. What? So, okay, so let's talk about another topic. Doug King, obviously, his ownership was confirmed. I think just before the weekend, which is obviously good news because it's been 15 years of Sisu. And now Doug King. So, what are your thoughts on Doug King and what he'll do, or what are your expectations?
To be honest, I can imagine the business model not changing too much to what it's been under Zizou.
Okay.
But he seems to have the enthusiasm though. So
yeah, you said he's been at a few games, right? So
he was at Kozul Town last week.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, did you see him investing anything in this January transfer? Obviously, not like millions and millions, but do you reckon he's going to provide funds to allow Robbins to strengthen?
You'd like to think so. He's brought the club for a reason. I genuinely believe he's got ambition to, improve things.
No,
I just don't expect. I'm not expecting him to go out overnight and spend a fortune on players.
No, that's true. But I mean, going obviously, we've got another couple of weeks of the January transfer window to go. I mean, fingers crossed. I know Robbins has said that Gyökeres isn't for sale, but I mean, do you see anybody leaving? I know Waghorn and Kane have kind of left, but do you see any potential outgoings that we need to be worried about or figure out how we're going to replace? Or
well, the only ones we don't. Obviously, if somebody comes in with enough money for Gyökeres or Hamer or Sheaf, then it's won't be easy hanging on to them. But I can't see him going this window.
What's your verdict on Sheaf? So I remember when he signed, was it last season? Or was the season before? I can't remember. But everyone was kind of giving him a lot of slack. He wasn't that good. And all of a sudden, he's managed to turn it around and turn into a pretty decent player. What are your thoughts?
I think he's been immense. Arguably, other than Gyökeres, arguably our player of the season. Like I said last week, people talk about the 3 stars of the City team, Hamer, O'Hare, Gyökeres, should be the 4 stars of the team.
Oh, that's true.
4 assets, because...
Yeah, absolutely. She's box to box. I like the way he plays, and I think he's got goals in him. We've seen him score a couple of goals. Which
not a team in the Championship that wouldn't mind having Ben Sheaf in this as at least as a squad player.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that is true. Good. So let's get Rich's predictions before we wrap up Norwich game. And what are your thoughts for Norwich game predictions wise? What you going?
Wow, I'm not going to come on a podcast and say that I think we're going to lose. So
we never do.
I'll say 2-1 City.
Okay, nice. I'm gonna go a bit different. I'm gonna go 1-0 City. I know I have this bad habit of saying that we won't concede, but I always say we end up conceding. But I'm hoping for a nice old fashioned 1-0 Gyökeres winner, and we can enjoy the rest of the weekend. But Rich, thank you very much for tuning in today. As always, keep it coming. Thank you very much for those that tuned in, left your comments. Going forward, myself and Rich will either be regularly on Sundays or Mondays. We're going to put the schedule up. And for those that are watching, if there's any particular topics you'd like us to cover or discuss, or even if you'd like to join us on the podcast, by all means, give us a shout. More than happy to have you on. But until next time, stay tuned and play up Sky Blues.
Play up Sky Blues.